Coming to you live from the It's Funny Studios, I'm Doug.
I'm Greg.
And this is Mike.
And this is the It's Funny That Makes It Okay podcast. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you are doing well. How are you doing?
Doing well.
Yeah, doing all right.
Just had my fill of some pizza. I'm good.
Yeah, the pizza was good. I got to admit, we had barbecue pizza was one of the pizzas. I'm kind of a pizza snob. I used to be. I just like I like the traditional.
That's typically.
And then I got to go in. I'm going to get off on a whole rant, which we did not plan on doing.
That's okay.
But I would do the chicken bacon ranch, and I kind of like, I don't want that. And then I tried that. It's like, not bad. And then my wife doesn't do the red sauce anymore, so she started doing Alfredo. I was like, I don't want that. Then I started eating the Alfredo. It's pretty good. I take the Alfredo. We do the Philly steak on top of that with like some Parmesan cheese. And then finally here, just like in the last year, I started doing some barbecue. You get the barbecue with the chicken and bacon and stuff on it. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, it goes against my grain to like different pizzas like that. Cause I'm a traditional, I like meat lovers is probably my favorite. Yep. And then I'm okay with a Supreme or something. I don't love all the veggies on it, but it's a good pizza though. But then, you start getting into barbecue chicken and Alfredo. It's like, how you feel about pineapple?
I hate pineapple on the pizza.
I enjoy pineapple on pizza.
You enjoy it?
It's an abomination.
I do too. I like it.
It has no place on a pizza.
Like it.
So I didn't mean to get us off on a whole tangent there. Sorry.
No. Well, I got a little. Maybe this will be a tangent. I don't know. Just a question.
Well, hang on.
Oh, you got more. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just saying we were saying how I stopped this from our regular intro.
Oh yeah.
Mike, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
Here we are. Beginning of May.
Yeah.
Starting summertime activities.
I like it.
About
Temperatures
time.
are going up. People be going on vacations.
Mowing grass.
Mowing grass. But that's just par for the course. Part of the game.
I enjoy mowing grass, honestly. It's at this point in life, it's a welcome reprieve from.
Yeah, it's therapeutic a little bit.
I mean, that being said, it takes me like 30 minutes.
I need a little smaller.
I'm done.
A little smaller yard.
Mine is, depending on how deep it is, it's an hour and a half to 2 hours to do mine.
Yeah.
Well, mine's an hour.
Growing up, though, my parents' yard was 3 acres of mowing. So I'm okay with my my smaller yard. But
Yep.
Yeah.
So today, I think Greg said he has something right off the bat, and then we're doing a draft. The draft we're doing, I thought let's do a draft of summer activities, but we'll put a little twist. We kind of did this before, an episode a long time ago, but not for the summer. We're going to do summer activities that sound great, but when you do them, they might be a bit disappointing or a little bit of a letdown. And these might be things there might be some things on here that you actually enjoy doing, but when you do it, it's kind of wasn't as fun, or maybe it wasn't worth all of the effort that went into making this happen. Then I got a couple things about body shaming, kind of fix into that. And then a couple things with the government coming in to help out and, making things a whole lot better.
Well, that's what they're there for, is to help us and make it better.
always.
So, all right. Sorry, Greg, there. It's all yours now.
No, so I just have a question. So, we're coming through spring, starting to get in closer to summer, but our weather changed a while back from the cold, snowy weather to where we now have a little bit warmer and we have thunderstorms. How do you feel about places are closing when there's a thunderstorm warning? We had a couple weeks ago, we had a thunderstorm coming through the area, and our news station put out a special weather alert. I think they call it a special weather day or something like that. And then it's like at 2 p.m. on that day, the school's closed. I know Lori works at the library. The library closed. A lot of different businesses closed.
Chick-fil-A was closed.
Back in our
day,
day,
at 3,
and you're in school, they'd be like, okay, get out in the hall, sit down, put your head in your knees. I don't know. When I heard all these places were closing, I'm like, for a thunderstorm, really? I mean, I realize we're in a tornado area, so I get that things can happen.
I guess the point I would make on that, and this is I've been working for a community that had a bad tornado go through.
True. True.
10 years ago this year, actually.
Yeah.
10-year mark this year. And you can tell just by like some of the conversations I've had. And I mean, I was in high school when that tornado happened.
Right.
I was a senior. But now living in that community and working with people who have lived in that community during that tornado, you can tell the fear is still very prevalent with people. And rightfully so. I mean, that tornado did a number.
It was huge.
And so when you get the weather, so it started out with what, maybe one weather alert, right? And then as it went through the week, they're like, okay, level 5 out of 5, ramp it up.
Right.
I mean, I was expecting the worst.
Panic. It's like,
yeah, and I mean, that's not to say the storms weren't bad, because there was some damage.
Yeah, and there were some small tornadoes in the area,
and there was some bad hail too in some spots. And that certainly did not help I think what you're alluding to, Greg. That did not help the level of anxiety that people have about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's like they're manufacturing. Because, I mean, we've dealt with storms, I mean, my entire life living here.
In the Midwest, in the spring and summer, that's just part of the gig. That's it. It's what it is. You're going to have.
So how do you feel about them closing places?
I think it does help people stay safer and to, maybe save lives. Having said all that, I'm completely against it. I hate it. I don't like it. Like you said,
it goes against my old man.
I remember at least I can remember 2. There might have been more. 2 times in school where we had to go into the hallway, and the lights went off, and there's a couple little kids crying, and we went in the hallway, waited for it to pass through. But like, especially work. I never remember businesses closing because of a thunderstorm. It's like you can't. I mean, you'd be closed half of the month in some cases.
Well, yeah, because they had the one last week or whatever, and now we're expecting another one, and I'm wondering, are we going to close down stuff again because there's another potential severe thunderstorm?
Well, I think a lot of places change how they do business because we went through COVID where it was almost everything was at a whim.
Right.
We'll shut down and we'll be fine, or we'll go have everyone go work from home for the afternoon and we'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I think places are more apt to kind of do this kind of stuff now after going through.
And I don't like that either.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying I think that's why, or that plays a part in it.
Not where we work.
No.
Well, yeah.
Well, I work out of my truck, so I'm just always driving around.
Well, I'm in the shop.
There's no basement. There's no storm shelter.
Get in the ditch.
Greg, our shop is basically a giant mobile home. There's nothing. There's no inner room. There's no nothing. There's nothing helping you.
It wouldn't protect you very well.
Yeah. The cavalry's not coming. There's no help coming.
No.
You're on your own.
So, anyways, I don't want to belabor it. It just, I don't know. I know we've got another one predicted for a couple days from now, and I'm just like.
Well, I mean, it comes with the territory of living where you live. I mean,
you
live on the coast, you could be in hurricane territory.
Earthquakes.
Live out west, you could be in mudslide territory.
Yeah.
It just kind of depends. There's nothing you can really do to stop it. So, I don't know. But no, it doesn't really help when everything on Facebook and whatnot is screaming at you that this is the end of the world.
Right.
Weather emergency.
And tornadoes are so random. I mean, they may predict it for this area 2 days from now, but it could go 100 miles north. It could go south, and it could just be a thunderstorm.
They're obviously going to overplay their hand, right? They're not going to say, "Oh no, it's going to be sunny and nice out," and then have people outside.
No need to tune in at 6 to find out what's happening.
Right? Yeah.
Lori was watching the news in the last one, and all the news people left. They were like, they were like doing the weather. I was like, well, I guess their sirens were going off, and
why did they leave?
To go
to the
hunker down.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I got you. I thought they just left the studio. I thought that's what you meant. I thought they just booked it out of the studio.
They left the newsroom to go like into the hall or downstairs or something.
No, I got you.
So they just like, they left. Which that news place is like 2 miles from us.
Yeah.
As the crow flies.
Yeah.
A couple
other things that they like to do now too is they'll say that this storm will affect 65 million people or 115. I'm like, how big is the storm? Well, it's like it's going through several states, and by effect, what do you mean? That we might get rained on? But they make it sound like 65 million people could die today. Like,
The breeze will pick up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, I'm affected.
Yeah. No, it's going to mentally affect you because they keep drilling it into your head.
It's like it's panic porn. I mean, that's what it is. It's,
Yeah.
And another thing that I just heard this with this last storm, maybe you guys have heard this. I have not, because before it used to be you had thunderstorm watch, thunderstorm warning. The
Right.
thunderstorm watch means the conditions are right
Yes.
for a thunderstorm. Thunderstorm warnings means there is a thunderstorm in the area and it's heading this way.
Yeah.
Same way with the tornado watch,
Yep.
tornado warning. Well, now what they were saying with this last one, they said this is a tornado type thunderstorm coming. It's like tornado type thunderstorm. What is that? I don't even know what that means for sure. Wouldn't that be
tornado
every
could come
thunderstorm
out of it?
technically would be a tornado type? Because technically, I guess you could have a tornado anytime there's bad weather.
I
Yeah.
think the thing that scares me most now with any of the severe weather is how loud my phone blasts. that
Oh my
alarm.
goodness! Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It was so loud.
It goes. I think it went off twice for us, but the first time it was like, "Bing." It's oh man, you got to calm down with that.
Yeah.
The fastest I can hit the dismiss button, it's like, okay, I got to stop this sound.
Yeah. So I get it. I don't want to be insensitive. I mean, I know there is an
it's a
amount of
serious
fear.
thing.
It
It's
is
a serious
serious.
thing.
So I'm not
But-
making light of the fact that, the severe weather is serious. It's just so different from when I was growing up. It's just, So anyways, I didn't really.
What I heard is
Well,
people
and-
need to man up and quit whining about stuff.
I would say, I mean, my dad is one of those guys. It's like, step out on the front porch. Where is it? He'll go out and walk
I go
around.
out
It's
on
like,
the, I go out
yeah,
on the
it's like-
deck.
yeah.
If it's not lightning, I'm more afraid of lightning really than I am the tornadoes and the thunder.
It's just as afraid of you, Greg.
Well, it should be.
Lightning's like, no, don't strike that guy.
Ooh.
You don't want a piece of him.
Yeah, but yeah, if it's
I remember
not,
watching that tornado you were talking about before. We watched that from our literally our front door.
Which one?
outside. The Washington tornado.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, it went through East Peoria, not even 5 miles
Yeah,
near
there's a big
us.
one too.
And yeah, we just watched it from the
Yeah.
front porch.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, anyways, I just thought I'd something to chat about a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Is that it, Mike? You have anything else?
No, the storm has
The
passed.
storm is past. We were in a rant warning. We were just a rant watch.
conditions are
It
right.
It went into a full-blown
Yes.
rant warning.
Conditions are right.
And now we're back to a rant watch. So I think we're going to be okay.
Well, the entire show there's always a watch.
It's always a watch.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yes, conditions are always right.
This
Yes.
is true. All right, well, let's move into our draft. Like I said, we're going to do drafting summer activities. Now, these might be summer activities that we like, or maybe you don't like, but they just don't. They may sound fun, but they end up being maybe a little disappointing, or they don't quite meet the expectation.
Yes, I think this is much more compelling than the Easter basket draft.
I don't know. That Easter basket draft was pretty contentious. A lot of comments about it, about people arguing, putting
Hollow
things down.
bunnies
Oh
versus
man,
chocolate solid
all the-
chocolate.
it should be
Armchair.
all solid bunnies, and
Yeah.
then they had the hollow bunny people saying, "You're crazy. You hate people." It's like, no, I
Yeah.
just like the solid chocolate bunny.
All the listener GMs chimed in and
That's right. That's
you know
right.
scolded us for our picks.
That's right. So I think what we'll do, we're going to have a 4-round draft. I'm going to start, and then we'll go Mike and Greg. And so I have got to pick one, and I'm going to start right off with a activity everybody likes, but does it actually meet up?
Everybody likes.
Everybody likes it. The picnic. It's summertime. Let's pack up. Let's go to the park. Get the kids. Let's go to the park. We'll take our food.
That was on my list.
It sounds great. I love the idea of a picnic. I really do. Picnics sound great. But you go out there, you're going to fight. First, you got to fight the bugs. You got to fight the flies, the bees, the ants, everything.
Wind.
I was just going to say the wind is 40 miles an hour here in Illinois, always. So then you got to try to either lock everything down or tighten it down. Well, like my mom would want to put tablecloths on the picnic table because we have to. It was like, why, Mom? So she would. So we do that, and then you got to get like clamps and put on the tables to hold that stuff down.
Yep.
And then you got the weather. Of course, it could be nice and sunny, but you have a pop-up thunderstorm come through at any moment. You got to grab everything, pack it up, take off running with all the stuff. You got to find the food. It's just a lot of hassle. And I like picnics. I still like
because
picnics.
they can be fun
They
as well.
can.
But
I just don't know if it's worth all of the effort to do it. Sometimes like, why don't we just eat something and then just go to the park and go for a walk? I think that would be better if we just went and grabbed a bite to eat
yeah.
and then go to the park. But so that's mine. My number
right,
one, I
number
would say
one is
picnic.
picnic.
I would say picnic.
All right. Well, I took an interesting approach to this. These were most of the things like I would do as a kid, not now, or have not done in the last 15 years. But number one on my list is the slip and slide.
Ah,
The slip and slide to me always sounded fun, but
it did sound fun.
after about 5 minutes of sliding down the slip and slide, I think that's about it. I think it ran its course very quickly. I think with the slip and slide. And then as a kid, I mean, when you're done with it, your parents went through all the work to set it up and get it out for you. And then it's like, nah, I'm kind of done now. I just wanted a few times, and now I'm done.
No, you get out there and slide.
Yes.
And when I was a kid, we never had the slip and slide, but we had cousins that did. And it was basically just a piece of thin, long plastic that would stake in, and then you turn the hose on it, kind of like a sprinkler.
Yeah.
It would rip up. It would tear up.
Yes.
It would
Yeah.
pull out of the ground.
And you either stick to it or you go 800 miles an hour and slide out into the grass.
And you knock the wind out of yourself at least 3 times.
Yeah.
You run in and slide. Or you hit a bump in the grass.
Or another kid.
We had one that I thought was going to be really cool because it had a little tunnel arch over it, and then it had water on the side.
Oh, yeah. Sounds good.
It was the lamest thing ever. I'm like, this stinks. The water jets on the side were just little dribbles, that was sprinkles. Like, this is the worst. I thought this was going to be so cool, but it was.
They
not.
did make them always look fun.
Yeah.
So it's
So,
good call.
Slip and slide.
All right. You two are going to disagree with me on my first one. But for me,
Maybe not.
I never think it's turns out all that great. Fishing.
Yeah.
I actually have fishing on my
Do ya?
list as one.
I mean, I
like to
I've
fish.
tried to like fishing. I just can't. I mean, I go and I sit there and sit there and sit there and
no. I
sometimes
like to
nothing
fish, but
happens.
I can. There's been times where I go out and it's like, this was a lot of work for not a lot of fun.
yeah,
Sometimes
not a lot
it's
of,
fun.
Not a lot of payoff. I mean,
Sometimes you go out and you're fishing, you're catching fish. It's kind of relaxing, kind of fun. But a lot of times you got to carry a lot of equipment, trudge it around. Then, especially if you're going with like your family or kids, you're spending half of your time getting the lures unstuck from stumps in the water or up in a tree or wrapped around a telephone line that went across the lake.
or the fishing line is wrapped around the reel or
Yeah, you got to cut out a bird's nest and pull it out and yeah. So it can be aggravating.
Yeah,
Mike looks like he's one to
Yeah.
disagree. Go ahead, Mike.
I
it's
disagree.
more stressful for me than it is fun.
And I'm always of the mindset that a bad day fishing, which doesn't exist, is always better than, a good day somewhere else. But, I mean, even if I don't catch...
Apparently, Greg has had some bad days fishing.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Maybe if
have.
you went with him, you'd start hating fishing.
Maybe I can
I
bring...
could make you hate it.
Maybe I can bring Greg to...
Maybe.
The
Maybe.
light side.
I found most of the time things like that it usually drags you down to the lower level. You hardly ever drag something up.
Yeah, you don't drag people up.
I like this. Why don't you come and we'll try? And then you get down, it's like, now I hate it. I can't enjoy it anymore.
Yeah, at my age, you're not gonna pull me into liking it.
Well, I know it's not for everyone, but, I mean, it's one of those things where I could just go out, even if I don't catch anything. There's just something therapeutic about it. It's almost like mowing
Well, I
yard.
like being outdoors.
Oh.
I just don't want to fish.
I agree with Mike. I say it is kind of relaxing because I'll take a chair out there, I'll sit, and even if I don't catch anything, just casting out and kind of,
Yeah.
or even a bobber throwing it out, just sitting there. Sometimes I'll take my phone, have the little bit of music playing low, and just kind of sitting there and just relaxing.
Now,
It's kinda
I
nice.
will say, the one thing that I cannot stand while I'm out fishing is...
Some guy listening to the radio.
I mean, if big group of people, like, if I'm going fishing, I'm going with a very small, select 1 or 2 people, typically. I don't want to make it a social event as
A
I'm fishing.
hand-picked team.
Yes. So I don't want to make it the get-together of the century as I'm going fishing. I just want to fish. I don't want to go out there and have a family reunion as I'm trying to fish.
Got it.
I do not want people around.
Nothing wrong with that. You get number 2.
Oh, I
Yeah.
got number
Yeah,
2.
you get a
as
second
well.
one.
Okay.
Back to back.
Well, you stole my number 2, so I'm going to say number 3. It's my number 2. Flying a kite.
Yep.
It always looks like fun.
Yes, it does.
I've taken the grandkids out and tried it. I end up flying the kite while they're running around doing other stuff.
We got to put it together. Half the time they break or they don't want to go together or it rips up right away. And you know what? Best case scenario, say everything goes 100% the way it goes. You're standing there with the string just looking up in the air. It's like, okay, it all worked. And what? And I don't know. This is it. This is what we're doing. Does it do anything else? Nope. It just stays there in the sky in one spot while I hold on to this string. That's it.
Yeah, the last one I got was from Costco.
Yep.
That
So
thing
it was huge.
It was huge, and it was made like a hang glider. That thing about pulled you off the ground
Yeah.
when it got up that high, and inevitably they're going to crash into a tree or across a phone or a electrical line or something.
Yep.
I don't care how far in the middle of a field you are.
Yep.
They're going to find something to crash in.
Did they let you sample it in the store?
No, I didn't get to
Oh.
sample. No test trials. Big fan in there blowing it.
I picture it like little bitty kites. Like
Yeah, small.
They have a little fan. You got a little one.
Yeah.
It's about 3 inch by 3 inch. So because it's just a sample. It's a
Yeah.
sample
True.
kite.
Little
True.
desk fan is like
Then they have a little bitty power line. Oh crap!
a little jolt.
Little tree.
It's stuck in a tree.
Got it.
This is like real life.
Hate the stupid kite.
Oh,
So
man.
that's my number 2 is
Yep,
flying
that was a good
a
one.
kite.
Yep, I had that one too.
All right. Well, in my list, I'm following up with slip and slide. I'm going with sidewalk chalk. And again, this is my perspective as a kid. So I always thought the sidewalk chalk would be cool because I could be a Picasso on the driveway.
Some kids are.
Hey, some are, yeah. And I always thought it was so cool. I could go out there and sketch whatever I'm going to sketch. And inevitably, it would just get rained away. And I remember I was devastated the first time my sidewalk chalk got rained away. I thought my little square in the corner in the sidewalk or the driveway, that would be mine forever. But no,
You needed to
such was
seal
not
it.
the case. What's that?
You needed to seal.
Oh, yeah.
You learned a
Hey, Dad,
valuable
Put
lesson.
some sealer on it.
Yeah.
See the things that bring you joy, Mike? They're quickly fleeting away,
Yes.
and they will bring sorrow and tears
Washed away.
and the gnashing of teeth.
I could-
That's what happens.
Yes.
I could
So
never
just don't
pick
enjoy anything again.
No, I can
Washed
never pick up
away.
another thing of chalk after that ever again.
By the rain of life.
Yes.
That was a good one. See, we didn't have sidewalk chalk when I was a kid. It just, what we had? What we would do? You'd find a rock, and you could do that, a rock
with a
on the
rock,
sidewalk,
yeah.
and then my dad would yell at us for doing it. Quit doing that to the sidewalk.
Because that probably wouldn't wash away.
No. It would
When-
wear away eventually, but yeah, he did not like it.
And my parents had a big driveway because the house is set back,
Yeah.
a ways. So we had quite a bit to work with, but it's never quite there.
All right. Man, what am I going to put for number 2? Now, this is going to be more for an adult than as a kid because
I'm
as
worried
a kid,
now.
No, as a kid, I would have probably put this high on the list of things that was great. But now as adult, not so much. Going to an amusement park. I loved it as a kid. Rides, everything. But as an adult, it's just a headache and chore. It's a job. It's something I have to do now. I got to drive, I don't know how many hours. You get there, I got to pay an exorbitant amount of money. It's going to cost me $500 for the day to go in, to pay for everybody's tickets, to get something to eat. I'm going to be paying, $32 for a hamburger and a drink. I got to wait in line for 4 hours to ride a ride.
Or
which
you
I
could-
don't wait in line now.
You could shell out an extra $200 for a fast pass.
There you go.
See, I haven't been to a park since there's been, and that would infuriate me. And I'm standing there and some guy whoops up, oh, it's my turn. I would just punch him in the face. Then I'm going to Disney jail, Mickey Mouse. Oh, turn you up, buddy. Come on. It's like, no, this is the worst day ever. It just sounds miserable. There's
I haven't
nothing
been to
fun.
one in a
I haven't
long
either.
time.
I
I
have
had
not
that
either.
one on the list, so
I have not been to one in a very long time.
good pick.
All right. Let's see. That was 2. 3. This might be a controversial one, but I'm going to say golfing. And I like the golf, But it is never as fun as what I think. It's like, I'm gonna get up, I'll go golfing. Because for one thing, I'm a horrible golfer. I'm terrible. So it takes me like 4 hours to play 9 holes. It takes me forever. And for one thing, my balls are always in the forest. I got to go look through the woods to try to find my balls because I can't have any of them. None of them. And at some point, I just want to chuck my stupid driver into the lake. Why don't you go? That's where half of my balls are at anyway. Yeah, so why don't you join the rest of my balls in the lake? I swing as hard as I can. It barely gets off the tee, dribbles up. I barely get past the ladies' tees. I'm like, oh, God. I get so frustrated and furious. I start skipping holes. I'm like, I'm not even playing 9. I'm going to 10. I'll meet you guys there. I get done. I just want to just chuck every golf club I got into the dumpster. And just like, I start out happy. This will be a nice day. It's beautiful. We'll be outside. It's going to be, even if it's not, I don't do well, I'll get a walk in. No, my blood pressure goes through the roof. It is not healthy for me to go out there because I'm just miserable the entire time. I'm just miserable.
Yeah, I enjoy golf. I mean, I'm not good at it either, but I think kind of like you guys with fishing, I get a certain, even when I'm not doing well, there's still something relaxing about it to me. So I don't know. To me, it's similar in that way.
I really have a good shot in golf. There's really, I'll get 1 or 2 maybe. It's like, I don't know. It's just.
That's what keeps you coming back.
Well, what's so frustrating is it shouldn't be this hard. It's a little ball and it's just sitting on the tee and I still can't hit it.
Yep. I get it.
All right. That was it. It was infuriating.
I lined up with Doug on that one. So
I will go golfing and I still like it. I'm like,
stink,
yeah, I will
man.
go. I'm stink too, but
I stink.
I would go if somebody said, hey, you want to go golfing? Yeah, I'll go. But it's just, I'm just miserable with
the
it.
driving range where I don't,
you don't care?
I don't care. I enjoy that a little bit more.
Yeah. Top golf was fun.
Yeah. I like things like that. I can just tee off, whatever. But when actually I have to, I have a target and I have to hit the target, I can't. I just can't do it. I'm terrible.
Yeah.
So I've never been much of a golfer myself. So, all done? Was that
all done?
Okay.
All you.
So I'm actually going to take a play out of Doug's draft here, and I'm going to go with the same concept he did with the amusement park. I'm actually going with the pool/water park as my next pick. Now, as a kid,
I love the pool.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
great. Now, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go to the Dells and stuff like that, and I can do a few things that I enjoy.
Yeah.
But now it's just like, I don't want to be in this pool with all the other people.
The communal tub.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just got to wash that out of your head.
Well, I'm going to piggyback off yours a little bit because I had going to the beach, and that was going to be my number 4, but I'm going to go because of the same problems. And another thing, as an adult, it just reminds me how out of shape I've gotten.
Yeah.
You throw your swimsuit, it's like, I don't want to walk around now. I got to wear a shirt and a big floppy hat. It's like, I got to go out there, fight it, and you got to fight the people. It's never as fun as what I think it will be. It's like, oh, it'll be nice and relaxing. It's not relaxing.
I thought you wore your American flag Speedo.
That was on my anniversary.
Where you
That's
went
what
all
I'm
out.
probably wearing right this minute as you're listening.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I get it. The water. See, I mean, it's fine. You put them under the same category, but I enjoy much more just hanging out in a pool than I do the water parks. The water parks, it's just too much activity going on. It's like, I just want to relax in the pool.
But the pools are usually really crowded, and it's like, I got to stand in there next to other people.
No, I want like a private pool.
Well, okay, if I had a private pool, then yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I wasn't thinking more of like the backyard pools. I was thinking like
going to a pool,
a public pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. No, I would agree with you on that. I mean, and it's like everything else. It can be okay. It's just, yeah.
And like Doug said, as a caveat, as a kid, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
But,
All right.
Not so much anymore.
Well, my next one, number 3, I'm going to get pushed back again, but that's okay. And I enjoy this one, actually, but sometimes the results can be disappointing, and I would say camping. I enjoy camping overall, but storms come up. You can't get fires going. I don't know. There's a number of reasons to dislike it sometimes too, because of the stuff that comes up.
Yeah. No, this one I give you 100%. I can give you camping on this one.
I think there's a lot higher potential for downside than upside.
Yeah. Now,
now
hold on. You're not talking about you bring out the RV and you bring out your whole house with you in the RV.
No,
right?
because I don't have one of those.
All right,
I've only tent camped. I mean, my daughter and her husband.
That's the only camping category. If you bring an RV, you're not camping.
No, you're not.
You're not.
You're not. You're staying at a temporary housing outside.
If you go inside and watch TV at the end of the night, you're not camping.
No.
You go
I agree with you. If you have a TV in your camper, RV,
you're not camping.
no, you're not.
Nope.
Sorry.
No,
But I'm
you're
not sorry.
Nope. Now, the things I like about camping, at night sitting around the fire, cooking, you eating a lot of good food and stuff, but yeah. And depending on your campground where you go, sometimes, because when I was a kid, we did a lot of camping. Some places were really good.
Yep.
Other places you go and there's nothing to do. You're there and it's like, well, I guess we're going to can't wait till it gets dark so we can start a fire, because there's not a lot here. You get there, it's like, wow, there's nothing.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you got to hit the restroom, some of those,
I like a flush toilet.
Some of those parks,
I like a
man.
flush toilet, man. I don't want that hole in the ground.
Yeah.
You're sitting on a rickety wooden stool, literally just cut out. I've been on those. It's just a hole.
Yeah,
there's
the outhouse.
Yeah, there's no seat. It's just literally a hole.
At any given time, you're no more than 2 feet away from 3 wasp nests.
Yeah.
And
Always.
spider infestations. Yeah.
and at the same amount of distance away from the refuse below you that has piled up that you can see. When you look down, you're like, geez.
Yeah,
how long has this house been here? Has it never been cleaned out?
And why did I look down?
Yeah, I know what the last 14 people had to eat that use this place. It's disgusting.
It is gross.
Yeah, you get there, it's like, why am I here? Why did we come here? I wish I had an RV.
Yeah. So number 4, that was my number.
Well, that was your 3.
3. So now my 4. This always used to sound. This is an older one. This used to sound so much fun, and the anticipation was definitely much more than the payoff, and that was the drive-in movie. You're like, you're ready. Oh, we're going to go to the movie. We're going to sit in our car and watch the movie. Half the time, the stupid speaker doesn't work well. You get, you always got kids running all over the place.
See, I was a kid when I went to the drive-in movie, so it was kind of fun for us.
And I enjoyed it sometimes, but it's like camping. It had its potential for going south. Mosquitoes, you'd be sitting in your car, mosquitoes fly in and eat you up while you're there. I don't know. Just, like I said, the anticipation many times was much more than the payoff on a drive-in movie.
Yeah.
I've only ever been to 2 drive-in movies, and one was a much better experience than the other.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What made the second one
Same
not
place, but for many of the reasons why you said. The second time, it's like, okay, no one here is engaging in the movie.
Yeah.
It's a reunion at the. It's the people I was getting away from at the lake as I was fishing. They got together at the drive-in movie.
Yeah, the guy sitting right behind you in the next row with his pickup truck backed in, and they're all on lawn chairs and stuff and having a good old party there on the pickup truck.
It's like, why did you pay to be here if you're not going to actually enjoy the movie? I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know.
The last drive-in movie I went to, I was 16, 17, and a friend of mine and I went. He lived up in Chicago. We went up to Chicago. We were driving around, and there was a drive-in theater, and we went by, and we're like, oh, look at this. It's like Predator, and then it was like a double feature.
Oh, they're always
action
double
movie.
features. Yeah,
so it was Predator and I don't know, Missing in Action or Charles Bronson. I don't know, some other movie. We're like, you want to go to that later? It's like, yeah, we'll go to it. So we went later on, and we drove up there and paid. I might have told this story before, but we paid. We bought our tickets and drove in and sat down. We didn't look at the marquee when we was driving in. We were goofing off, and we went and got snacks and stuff like, yeah, it's going to be great. So we get there, and it starts up, and they're playing some previews, like weird previews to have for like the Predator and stuff. It's like, no. It was a double feature. No. It was Adventures in Babysitting and Roxanne. It's like, oh, we stayed through one. We watched Adventures in Babysitting, and we got about, I don't know, a third away in Roxanne, and there was a car next to us, and this couple, they'd been going at it for like since the middle of Adventures in Babysitting. I finally took my friend Steve. I was like, "You want to bail on this?" He goes, "Yes, I do." I said, "Let's get out of here, man. It's all right for a couple." Well, look, this is 1980s. I know I'm going to get blowback for this. It's all right for a couple dudes to go to the drive-in together when it was like, Chuck Norris, Arnold Schwarzenegger. All right, wait, it's like we're watching a couple of rom-coms here. I'm ready to go do something else.
I'm surprised you stayed as long as you did.
I know. I'm surprised you made it through all that.
Well, we did. Well, we spent money. I didn't have a lot of money. So we were like, well, we spent the money. So we watched Adventures in Babysitting.
Not a bad
movie. It was all right. It wasn't Predator. I thought we were going to see Predator. I'm like, yeah. We're watching it and showing other rom-coms. Like, these are weird previews to have for an Arnold movie, but who knows?
Yeah. And sometimes they put really weird movies together. It's like Predator and Sleeping Beauty. I mean, what?
Oh, something for the kids.
Yeah.
You just have to shield them the entire Predator movie.
Yes.
But,
I'll be scared to death.
It pays off in the end.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. And if you get a hot Illinois night, you die in your car.
Oh, yes, you do. You can roll down the windows, but you'll be eaten alive by mosquitoes.
Yeah, and there's no breeze, and you're just like...
Windows are all steamed up. It's like,
yeah.
Not for the right reason here.
Dying.
Especially when I'm with my best friend. My wife, I'm like, listen, man, we can't do this. All right. Well, that's it. I didn't mean to take us all down a tangent.
All right.
There.
So that was my, what was that, my fourth?
Yeah.
So I'm done.
All right. And coming back, I'm about to take my last pick. This is one that I hadn't done in a while. I used to do this more in junior high school.
Streaking?
Dang it, Greg. You took it right out of my mouth. No, paintball.
Paintball
is my last one. So with paintball, I liked it because all my friends would do it and be like, hey, you want to go for the Saturday? We'll go out, and there used to be one here. Area 52 would be popular locally.
Been to it.
It's like, okay, I'll have some fun. After a while, you spend so much money in the equipment, in the gear, in the ammo. You always come home bruised, in pain, sore. And then after a while, the thing that turned me off the most is like, somehow I'm a junior high kid. I got out there with like professional paintball guys. It's like, this is not fun. Like, that's what killed it for me. And then
they're working as a team, creating kill groups.
Well, yeah, they're all like 10 years older than us in our group. And it's just like, we're just target practice for
They're
these
running
guys.
down there all stacked with their hands on each other, and they split off without saying a word. They're giving hand signals.
Yeah, it's some tactical unit that, the armed forces is training paintball with. And I mean, their gear was so much better, because they could afford that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And
when I went paintball, I've only been once, and my gear was rental.
Yeah.
I've never went, so.
It was, I had a good time, but we went in July, and everybody like I said, I'd never been. I was going with a high school group, and everybody was like, yeah, you want to make sure you dress in layers because those are going to hurt when they hit you.
Yeah.
So I'm out there in layers in July, and I'm just like, I'm dying.
Well, and the ones too, it's like you want your paintballs when you get hit, you want them to pop.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a time I got hit 3 or 4 times in a row. They didn't pop. It's like, okay, I'm just done. I'm exiting myself.
Yeah, if
I'm
they don't
out.
pop, they really hurt.
Yeah, it's painful. So that one is one I think almost quintessential to me, where it's like this activity, I always look forward to it, but then about halfway through, I'm like, why am I here right now?
Yeah.
Why did I do this again?
Yeah, good call.
Plus, I'm not good at it, so.
Well, there's that.
All right, my fourth and final one. Again, this is something as a kid I loved. I did a ton of it. As an adult, I mean, yeah, and then it's never as good. Going for a bike ride.
I do still enjoy a bike ride.
I like bike rides, but there's a lot of downside to that too, man. Like I said, if you go on a long bike,
like cardiac arrest.
and my
That was morbid.
people dying on the bike ride,
Yeah.
getting hit by a
no
car.
one wants to die.
No
on that.
one
one
wants
wants
cardiac
to.
arrest. Wow. Well, I was just going to say because my butt hurts when I go, but I guess that's Greg's got a much worse fear of cardiac arrest. Now I don't want to ride a
there's some
bike.
validity to it.
But no, I mean, and you're riding and the stupid seats pushing your
Oh,
shorts
yeah.
up into your rear end. I ache, I hurt. You get done. It's like, and plus I got to, load them up into the truck and drive them out there and then I pull it out. And half the time I've done this where I get there, I pull it out, the chain's off and then I can't, because mine is like a, I don't know, 5-speed or whatever. Well, if you get the chain off, then it doesn't want to shift right. And then I got to sit there and fiddle around with that to get it to shift. And then, again, living
This
in Illinois.
shift won't work.
Again, living in Illinois, the wind's always 65 miles an hour. So one direction
It's always
is,
against you.
well, or one direction is fine, but coming back, you're like, oh, it's 3 times as hard now. It's like I'm pedaling with a 500-pound guy sitting on the seat behind me, and I got to pedal his butt around town.
It
man.
is hard if there's a strong
terrible.
wind.
And I'm old and out of shape. I'm not young. When I was young, I'd take my Stingray, man, and
Your
whip all around.
Stingray.
Oh, I had my Stingray with the big handlebars that came up. I was going to call it, well, you can't call it that anymore. We used to have the sissy bar.
The sissy bar, yeah.
They can't call it that now. But and then, your bike flag hanging off there. Yeah, it's great times.
Never had
You
a
had
flag.
the leather,
No.
vest. With the,
No. I
Bike
thought
gang.
I would rather see I would have went all Evil Knievel. It would have been white with the red, white, and blue. I loved Evil Knievel.
I did
we would
too.
make jumps. We would try to jump ditches and all kinds of stuff.
one of the things I loved when I was a kid with the bikes is always finding the right card for the right sound in the spokes.
Yeah,
I
the
love
spokes.
that.
See,
I don't know what
I
it
never
was.
had cards to put in there, so I never
Yeah.
did
I
that.
had baseball cards.
Yeah. See, I don't
They
know.
would
I
probably
love
be
to
worth
mess with that.
thousands of dollars now that I put in the spokes of my bike.
But you got a few minutes of enjoyment
I did.
as a kid.
Sounded
And
like a
that's
motorcycle.
that's what matters. I just there's something about that specifically that just I don't know. That's
It was a
what
good
made,
sound. It
Yeah,
was a
it's
good
what
sound.
made bike rides for me.
All right, well, let's move on. I think that rounded it out. Did you guys have anything else? Any honorable mentions that you wanted to throw out? Or
I did have one.
Yeah, go ahead.
This one is again for younger, but I never really enjoyed water balloons that much.
I did enjoy water balloons.
I hated tying them.
Yeah.
I just feel like that was another one that you had to go through all the work of putting them together, and they'd either all be gone in like 2 minutes, or some would just be a
But
bad
if you
batch.
got the right hit on your brother or somebody else, right, it was all worth it. It was worth it.
Right in the middle of the back.
Or right in the head, right in the forehead. Bloosh. Just, yeah. It was like, that was worth it.
Yeah, and I remember having friends over, and my parents had a bunch of land, and we'd run around, spread out, and it's like, okay, we just spent all this time getting everything together, and we're gone. We just spent like 15 minutes filling those up, and a minute later we're out. So,
Yeah.
Did you have any?
I just had one more runner up, watching a baseball game.
See, I'm not a big
And
baseball
I like
fan,
baseball
so
games, and I enjoy going to them. But
they're boring.
certain games can drag on or...
Sorry. I've got a lot of baseball fans in the family and stuff.
Yeah, I enjoy watching
I
a game.
watch a game, but yeah, they're slow sometimes. So
Sometimes, yeah, especially if it's a pitcher's duel or something and nobody's hitting the ball and you're just, okay, this is not fun. But I always look forward to going, so it fits our criteria. It can wind up disappointing.
I got 2 honorable mentions. One, I have sleeping in a hammock. It sounds
You can't,
great.
because you can't get into the stupid thing.
Or get out of it. And when you lay in it for a while, maybe it's just because I'm fat. I don't know. But all of your skin starts to seep through the little holes. It's like, I get up, I look like a waffle on the backside. I'm all,
I don't think I've experienced that.
why?
Yeah.
They lay in a hammock has the bigger
Big
squares.
squares.
Yeah, not the real, like the mesh, but like the bigger
Because
squares.
you've got one you hook between trees, right,
yeah.
Mike?
So I mean, ours is we have like the straps that go around the tree, and you just hook it to those straps. And ours is like it's like a wider.
Yeah, I actually,
Hammock,
because I
but-
think when we went camping that time, I think think I laid in it for a minute.
I love my hammock.
I like to lay it,
It's
but
breathable, nice, and you can get some good sway on it. Oh man, and it just kind of envelops you. I love it.
And the last thing that I had, and this could probably go for a couple different things, but I had playing softball. So, hey, we're going to the party, or you're at a picnic. So, let's play some softball. I was like, yeah, it sounds like, and it's never. And maybe it's just because I'm old now. When I was younger, I used to, now it's like, somebody's getting hurt. I'm going to blow a knee, a shoulder. My shoulder's going to kill me tomorrow. I won't be able to raise my arm above my head. I have to have my wife help me get dressed, take my shirt off. I can't button my pants. I can't get my shoe on. She's like, you got to quit going to the stupid park and playing softball. Yeah,
I used to love playing softball.
I did too. The ball comes flying in, crack you in the side of the head or the back, or you take a line drive. Like, yeah, there's a lot of bad that can come out of it.
We should share our wall softball adventures sometime.
Those were the worst.
Tune in for the special.
Yeah. It was.
We played on a work team.
And it was horrible.
It was not good.
It was not good. But that'll wrap it up. Okay, let's go on. I got a couple stories, kind of body shaming-ish, maybe, or the category. I don't know. But Universal, they have a new ride out that came out earlier this year. And it's gotten a little bit of blowback. Some people complained about it. It's Mario Kart.
Doesn't everything have blowback?
Yeah.
Oh, blowback.
It's Mario Kart. And, so they got the
Let's
Mario.
Go.
Yeah, they got the Mario Kart ride, and they got the little cars there that you can get in and stuff. But the problem is that the ride is limiting it to a maximum waist of 40 inches. So people are not happy because they're saying that they're too big.
I'm on the edge right now.
You're too big. You can't fit into the cart. So, I'm sorry,
I wonder if you have to bring your own bananas. BYOB.
I don't know.
BYOB to the Mario
to
Kart.
toss out the back of the car.
Yeah. Throw at other people.
Yeah.
It says Super Nintendo World made a splashy debut at Universal Studios Hollywood with its soft opening, and gamers and tourists alike raced to see what the park had to offer and get in line to test out its highly anticipated Mario Kart ride. Featuring slow-moving carts painted in different colors, the augmented reality experience that places riders inside Bowser's castle was destined to be a hit. One detail about the ride is getting under some people's skin. The detail in question is that the rides are a bit smaller than some visitors would have preferred, and larger guests may have trouble squeezing into them. So it says, one of the people on here tagged them in Twitter, says, can we discuss how at my biggest I would have not been able to fit on the Mario Kart? A 40-inch waistline is about a size 20. Are you kidding me? So that's somebody put out there. So, but what I find more interesting is that people are mad about how small the cart is, and not that, hey, I weigh 450 pounds and I'm a giant man. Sure, I could shed a few pounds, but you could make a cart that could accommodate my size. And I'm saying that as a larger guy, and I'm with you, Mike. I would be right there. It'd probably be a little uncomfortable for me to get on it. But I wouldn't look at that like I can't believe. I'd look at that like I need to do something. Yeah. I need to get serious about this and try to drop maybe 50 pounds. That would be kind of nice.
Well, I guess it's time to bring out the paintball gun again.
Somebody wrote us, having everyone in your country be 50 to 100 pounds overweight is going to cost you, whether it's a massive burden on the healthcare system to keep your body alive or not fitting into a ride based on an N64 game. Now, one person did bring up a decent point, though. So I like this. Here's one commenter says, you can't have a Mario Kart ride that Bowser and DK wouldn't even be allowed on. So I was like, oh, they got a point. Donkey Kong and Bowser wouldn't fit in it.
Bowser has a big shell.
Yeah.
It's not because he's...
Well, how do you know that he's not all filling out that shell? How do you know he's not skinny?
He's probably super skinny under the shell.
Do you think he's skinny? He looks like a big dude.
I think he's a big dude. Well, you look at the length, the circumference and diameter of those arms.
Maybe he's got a skinny little bit of legs.
Yeah.
Although Donkey Kong is built upper body.
He's got little legs too. He skips leg day a lot.
He does.
He's like those guys you see and they got the 20-inch biceps and then they have, 2-inch calves. Like, man, guys,
that's what happens when you throw barrels all day, right?
That's true.
It's upper body.
True.
He's going to hurt himself, though, because he's lifting with his back. You know he's not using his legs. OSHA's going to come down on him. He's going to get fined. All right. So now we're going to run to Australia.
We're going to run to
You
Australia.
betcha. Fly. Zip over to Australia. Down. A woman there has received some letters about violating some policies at her surf club she's been going to.
No.
Yep. Said a surf
Troublemaker.
club has sent a swimmer a letter because she's breached its no nudity rule. So you probably think, what is she stripping down, doing some nude surfing, maybe doing some nude, swimming? Get out there,
hanging
swim
10,
around.
huh?
Hanging 10, hanging 2. I don't know. No, she violated its no nudity policy in the changing room.
What?
So you can't be nude
And I
in the
apologize
changing
if I
room?
butcher her name. It's Nada Pantle, Pantle. Says
Not a panty.
not a panty.
No panties.
Not a panty. Maybe that's what it says. Not a pantle. Frequents the change rooms at the Terrigal Surf Lifesaving Club on the New South Wales, Australia Central Coast and enjoys having a morning swim. Then a quick shower before heading back to work. To do this, she has to take off her swimmers before putting her work outfit on. I'd say she'd have to take it off to take a shower if she did that, but maybe not.
You
We
would
know
think.
Greg's showers in his clothes. Says, however, her routine has resulted in a warning letter from the Surf Lifesaving Club. The letter claims she breached the club's nudity. She breached the club's nudity in the change rooms policy, which advises that no nudity is acceptable in the changing room. I don't know how you're supposed to change and not get naked.
Isn't that the point specifically
Of the changing
of the
room.
changing room?
It says here the letter outlines that no nudity rule was made because of its child safe policy. The letter also reminded Miss Pantle that there would be consequences if she continues to get naked in the changing room. I'd like to remind you that it is your responsibility to follow the rules, maintain a safe family surf club environment, and should you continue to ignore the rules, you're subject to disciplinary action. She said they didn't tell her.
Okay.
She said they didn't say what I did specifically or who made the comment or who made the complaint, but it sort of implied I did something wrong. She said she's very embarrassed by it. Said at some point you have to take your clothes off. It says here, I'm sorry, my stupid screen refreshed again. At some point you've got to take your clothes off to get your other clothes on. That's why we have changing rooms. I almost feel like I'm being body shamed.
What a novel idea.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So yeah, I don't get it. It doesn't really expand on it much more than that, except it was, for children's safety. But if you're in the changing room, unless you're doing something lewd in the changing room,
And you would think they could put up stalls or curtains or something if they're that concerned with, children's safety. Okay, make it a place where you can change. I mean, it is a changing room.
yeah. So how do you feel about nudity in the changing room at the locker or the gym or wherever you go? I mean, there's got to be some necessary nudity.
I mean, if I'm in the locker room, I'm not. You look down, you're not perusing
No.
the people.
Yeah.
No.
But you're probably
your head at your locker.
yeah. You're
not
probably
sightseeing.
you're amongst people who are changing.
Yeah.
In the locker room.
Yeah.
Now, I'll admit, some guys at different health clubs I belong to, some of the older guys, they carry it too far. It's like you don't need to walk around like that, and definitely don't put your foot up on the
No.
stool or on the sink or
I want
whatever
things
you're
hanging
doing.
down.
We don't want any
No.
of that. Go in, shower, head like you said, head down as quick as you can, throw a towel around
Not a lot of
yourself.
talking. There was years ago, I belonged to a health club and would go in, and there was a guy that would be in there some of the mornings, and he would be up blow drying his hair. So it had the lockers were kind of in the back. When you walked in, there was like a row of sinks and mirrors.
Yep.
And then you turned left and you go back, and then the lockers were back in that way, back, and then they also had a sauna in the back. Okay. You would come in, and he would be standing at the sink, butt naked, blow drying his hair. I mean, just nothing, not a stitch of clothes. I'm like, dude,
You're breaking a
get
lot
it.
of rules.
if you're in a changing room or the locker room, go to your locker, stand in front of your locker, strip down, put your clothes on. There's no meandering. There's no wandering around.
At least get some underwear on. Do something.
At the least, a towel.
Yeah, at
Get
the
a
minimum,
wrap.
yeah, a towel, wrap
Throw
it
a wrap
around.
around you. Something. Nothing. I don't know how you feel about.
Then
like,
he comes up to talk to you and puts his
No,
foot on the
yeah.
bench. Hey, Doug, what's up?
Well,
I hope not.
obviously. So I don't know how you feel about like in the sauna as well, because there would be. I never went into the sauna. I don't like saunas.
I don't
like
either.
going
I
in
don't
there.
care
It's too
for 'em.
hot. I'm more warm blooded anyway. So, but I feel like put some drawers on, man. You don't need to be in there. Just if
Yeah.
it's yours at home, you got a private one.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You don't
Kind of
need
like
to
the
be
pool.
Yeah.
If you got a private pool, whatever. You want a skinny dip, you want to do whatever, it's your private pool.
Yeah. You
Or
don't
a
need to
hot
be
tub.
parading around at all. At all.
I don't want you in the hot tub with no shorts on either. I just
No.
don't want you in there. Well, I've heard a podcast where a guy was in the pot and he's like, I don't go in there.
I've seen it before.
Trunks. No. I don't want to get in. I know that. What's the difference? No, there's a tiny layer of material. That's a huge difference.
Yes, it
That
is.
is a very big difference.
Yeah.
Am I a prude? Maybe. I don't care. I don't want to see, your bits and pieces hanging around, floating
No.
around in there.
At all.
No, I don't want it at all. So I don't know. That's my thoughts on that. I don't know. Any other?
So should they have gotten a letter saying they were violating the?
No, if she's like I said, unless I'm just going by what this says, unless she's doing something lewd, but she just goes in and stands in front of her
Changes,
locker and
yeah.
changes or takes a shower and then changes. I would even give if she goes and takes a shower, and let's say she comes out of the
Well, how
shower.
could you even go take a shower? I mean,
Well, let's say she got out of the shower and walked to her locker and was partly undressed. I mean, I'd even give somebody that. Like, okay, let's say you're drying off and you're walking to your. Now, me, I'd throw the towel around me and
Yeah.
walk to my locker. But I would even go so far as to give you that. But unless she's doing something lewd, I'm like, it's a changing
No, yeah,
room. Then you need to call it something else. We
sounds
don't have a
like
changing room.
overkill.
I agree. Mike, you
No. All on board.
pro nudity. All right. All right, I got a couple of quick things here about the government trying to help and making things worse. I know that's a shock.
What? I knew that
I
had
was
to be
waiting.
done.
Out in New Jersey, they've been trying to save the American woodcock. It's a bird.
As well they should.
It's a bird. And the New Jersey state officials have been trying to help it and create a new wildlife habitat for it. And it lives in kind of like open prairie areas and everything. So what they did, they wiped out 21 acres of forest, destroyed 2 rare plant species, wiped out the barred owl and red-shouldered hawk habitat, and also the habitat for several endangered frogs and amphibians to create this prairie. They destroyed a wetland, which they said is illegal in New Jersey, so they could create a prairie to help save the American woodcock.
Somebody really liked that bird, didn't
Well,
they?
I guess, but it's like, we need to save this one species, and they wipe out how many thousands of other animals to try to make room for this bird.
Yeah,
and again, I'm fine with the bird if you want to try to save it, whatever, but sometimes you're doing more harm than good.
And these are the same people that'll cut down more forest for a solar farm
Yeah.
Yeah.
or wind turbines.
Yep.
And then yell at everyone else for not doing their part.
Yep. We could build a nuclear power plant that wouldn't take up nearly half that and create power for nearly next to nothing for decades. But no,
Why would you want to do that?
I don't. Why would we want to do that? I don't know. And the last thing I have tonight, and this will wrap it up, is this was in Austin, Texas. Got a little story here. I want to see how you guys come down. And Mike, maybe with your background, you can provide a little bit of maybe explanation or not. Said Chris Newby usually parked his car in his garage and driveway, but last month a stranger parked his car just a few feet from Newbie's in Newbie's guest room. He said, it sounded like a plane hit the house. I felt like I hit the ceiling. The whole house shook.
So what's Mike's experience with this?
Well, hang on. About 2:30 in the morning, he said he was upstairs sleeping when a car barreled into his spare bedroom right below him. The person was drinking and driving. Said, I went down. What? I know. Yeah. Said it looked like a tornado had hit it. I mean, the entire room was just crunched. He tried to rescue the driver, but couldn't get him, get through the rubble. So emergency crews were able to reach him, and they pulled the driver out who was driving while intoxicated. And they have pictures of the driver and the rubble he hit it, and it's got brick and stuff. And I mean, it did a number on there. And, but that's not the end of the story. It says Newbie wasn't hurt. There was a lot of damage to his house, but to add insult to injury, about 10 days later, he received a letter from the city for code violations because of the status of his house.
I didn't read down that far.
To top it off, the letter was dated the day of the crash. Like, it's not like the house has sat here for a year and a half. It happened, and you got the letter typed up that day. Boom, get it out there. They said you have 30 days to get the house in order, or you'll have a fine of $2,000. He said it felt tone deaf to me. I'm in violation for being a victim. So I don't know. That is ridiculous. Hey, Austin, you are the a-hole. This what that's there. This is it. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Now, I will say though, code enforcement people they're pretty ruthless. Now, this might be the most extreme example of code enforcement violation I've ever seen, though.
So who you're saying is ruthless? The people who are breaking the codes, or the people?
No. The code enforcement officers,
okay.
Yes, are pretty ruthless. I think most people who have code enforcement positions are in that position for very specific reasons. These are the people who love their power and the power that they hold over people.
They were the hall pass people. They were the hall monitors.
Yes, and then they go home and then they run their HOAs.
Yeah,
and then enforce out on everyone else too. I think that's stereotypical code enforcement officers, maybe to a nutshell. Not everyone, of course, but
sure. And I'm sure there are violators that are equally as bad.
Oh yeah, I mean, there on the flip side, there is a reason why you have to be that way sometimes. But in this case,
there's no common sense with the government, though. There's never.
And in this case, it's like you're seriously going to give this guy a $2,000 fine because someone crashed in his window
that day.
The callousness, the thing that puts it over the top for me, cherry on top, the same day. Yes. You've got to be kidding me.
It did say Newbie made contact with the code inspector, told him he could have extra time to make the repairs. Even so, the Austin native is disappointed. He said, Austin is kind of going against me. He said, it feels a little less like home every day. Newbie said the driver's insurance is paying for repairs, which should be completed by the end of the month. So, sounds like somewhat of a happy ending, but I'm like, jeez.
Yeah, at least the guy had insurance.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
I know in most places, code violations are often complaint driven, so somebody's got to call in and complain about something for the officer to go out. Not everywhere, but most places.
Yeah.
Would have been funny, the guy who crashed in there. Yes, I'd like to make a complaint. Sir, you sound muffled. Are you covered by something? No, but I would like to make a complaint.
Yeah, this guy's house looks like it's about to fall.
That's right. All right. So, that was the last thing I have. I got nothing else. You got anything to add?
Got nothing.
Track? All right. Hey, thank you so much for tuning into the show. We do hope you enjoyed it. I want you to relax, take in a deep breath, exhale.
Go out and have some summer fun.
Go out and have some summer fun, except for these things we have on the list. They are now officially canceled for the summer. Sorry.
And changing in the
If you wanted to fly a kite, too bad. Now go fly a kite. No, that's it. That's how you know it's not good. Because if somebody's mad at you, what do they tell you to do? Go fly a kite. You don't tell somebody to go do something fun.
You're also not a happy camper.
You're not a happy camper. So, hey, don't get offended about things. Life is way too short. Relax. Laugh a little bit. It's going to be okay. We hope you're tuning in 7 days. And until then, see ya.
Later.
Peace.
Well, that wraps up another episode. Thanks for listening. Please be sure to subscribe. And you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.